According to the Energy Information Administration, the United States is about to run out of diesel fuel. Our supply of diesel will be exhausted in less than a month. What will that mean exactly? Well, currently 7 states are at, quote, alert level 4. The entire Southeast is at code red. That means 72-hour notice is required for all fuel deliveries in anticipation of shortages. The diesel shortage is a symptom of a larger problem. Distillates, that would include jet fuel, diesel fuel, heating oil, are at their lowest recorded levels in more than a decade. So there are a lot of reasons for this. The Biden's religious war against Russia is the main one. But the effect on the country, that's the question tonight. What will that mean if we run out of these distillates in the middle of winter? Mike Taylor is the owner of Combined Energy Services. He joins us tonight. Mike, thanks so much for coming on. So what will that look like exactly?
Well, Tucker, I'm hearing from our suppliers that it seems like we're walking a fine tightrope on home heating oil and diesel supply. I can really only speak to the Northeast. They're telling me that in reserves, we're at 60% of a 5-year average. All of our heating oil in the Northeast, most of it comes out of the Philadelphia market, Linden, New Jersey. Good news is a refinery in Paulsboro, New Jersey is coming back online. Produces, I understand, 105 million barrels a day. So that's going to help the Northeast. All of our oil comes out of that region, floats up through the New York Harbor, and that supplies New England. We've already seen curtailments and shortages up on the Hudson River terminals. That was early October. Our suppliers are really saying it's a fine tightrope that if we have a drastically cold winter, could be trouble.
Could be trouble in supposedly the richest, most developed nation in the world. We're afraid of winter. So what would that mean for prices for heating oil and kerosene, by the way, which a lot of poor people use in their trailers? What would that look like in February?
No question. Already, we've seen the last 2 years, home heating oil is up over $3.50 a gallon. Retail home heating oil in the Northeast is over $6 a gallon today. Kerosene, when we can get it, is at $7. As we've spoken in the past, mobile homes use kerosene. It's very hard to get right now, and it's going to be unaffordable. The climate change agenda in the Northeast, Tucker, is what's causing this. Of course, across the country, demonization of fossil fuels. But in New York State, New Jersey, we're on fast track to try to eliminate fossil fuels with no alternatives that anybody can afford.
So this
I
means
don't know if we told you. I think.
I'm sorry. This means the price of
2030.
cordwood goes up too.
It's definitely going to go up. Cordwood, pellet stoves. But in 2030, New York State is outlawing all fossil fuel, meaning natural gas, propane gas, heating oil, all appliances in your home. New Jersey is outlawing all large boilers starting in 2025. What they're saying is any boiler at 1 million BTUs or up, which are all your natural gas heating and oil heating systems in New Jersey, there's over 8,300 of them, have to convert to electricity. Tucker, New Jersey has already estimated it's going to cost over $2 million to convert each one of these buildings, and they've admitted with an operating cost 5 to 6 times using electricity over natural gas. The crash course we're on in the Northeast is just undescribable.
Well, it's just that's the definition.
Shalom, shalom, shalom. All praises to the Most High, Yahweh, Bahashem Yahweh Shai, in the name of his only begotten Son, Yahweh Shai, who the world ignorantly calls Jesus, a so-called black man. Things are going to heat up after the election. Things are going to heat up after the election or cool down after the election, however you want to look at it. And we finna talk about it. From the clip that you just seen, there's a crisis of a shortage of diesel fuel, which is, causing concern for the United States because they basically only have about 25 days worth of diesel fuel, in reserves. And if we get like a abnormally cold winter and we have to go into those reserves or get close to using those reserves and we can't bounce back because of the refineries, may not be able to produce enough diesel fuel to keep, this economy running like it normally would, then we may have to dip into those reserves. So let's get it. Let's just get it. And let's just take it from there. Things may heat up after the election. This is out of the book of St. Matthew, the 24th chapter, and it reads, "For many shall come in my name, saying, I am Christ, and shall deceive many." And we know through vain philosophies that, you had many, particularly the Christian church and the Muslim religion, coming with, they forms of Christ, that being Caesar Borgia as Jesus Christ. And I believe the Muslim had the Prophet Muhammad as a Christ figure. And it reads, verse 6, "And ye shall hear war and rumors of war. See that ye be not troubled, for all these things must come to pass, but the end is not yet." Right. So with these rumors of wars that we hearing, that Russia is in conflict with Ukraine, and there is major blackouts going on right now in certain parts of Ukraine, like Kyiv and things of that nature, they're going to need some fuel, diesel fuel, and who knows? Who knows? The U.S. may assist them in giving them diesel fuel, that being Ukraine, which further goes into tapping into our resource that we already have over here, that we are coming closer and closer to getting towards using that 25-day backup reserve that we have for diesel fuel. And it reads, "For nation shall rise against nation, and kingdom against kingdom, and there shall be famines and pestilence and earthquakes in diverse places." And we also hearing a conflict between, I believe it's Iran and Israel, which also could be another key component or key factor in this diesel shortage, having to supply, Israel whatever supplies that they may have to, use and need. And it reads, "All these are the beginning of sorrows. Then shall they deliver you up to be afflicted, and shall kill you, and ye shall be hated of all nations for my name's sake." And we see that right now going on in today's society with this anti-Semi going on right now. So they setting the stage for you to be delivered up, and some of us should be killed, and you should be hated of all nations, right? Because by you claiming to be a, the J word, you're gonna be labeled anti-Semi by the 48ers. And what? They're gonna paint you in a negative picture in front of all the other nations, so they can be justified in whatever action they see fit or deem fit for the cause. So it says, "And ye shall be hated of all nations for my name's sake. And then shall many be offended, and shall betray one another, and shall hate one another. And many false prophets shall rise, and shall deceive many." And there's speculation that some of these celebrities have other agendas, although they coming out as, per se, like a prophet telling you that you this from the 12 tribes, and you this and this and that. It's speculated like the basketball player may be just trying to use that facade just to get out of his contract with the Nets. And on the other hand, that musician artist, Ye, is using that to, well, it's already happened for him to break his contract with Adidas so he can have the rights to his own sole propriety. So you got to be careful. You never know, but like we read, you can do nothing for the truth, but for the truth. So it says, I believe that's in 2 Corinthians. "And many false prophets shall rise, and shall deceive many." Right. Like I said, and a lot of celebrities are taking on that title in the eyes of many, that many false prophets shall rise and deceive many. So let's read that from the top. And it reads, and then shall many be offended, and shall betray one another, and many false prophets shall rise, and shall deceive many. Because right now you having a movement where, a lot of people are awakening to this truth, man, and some are contributing to these celebrities and not knowing, they could be used for the truth, but have ulterior, agendas, man. Like I said, like the basketball player could be, using the truth for, a way to get out of his contract because the backlash and the team may want to move on from him. And the other, it's already said that Adidas has dropped him. So, like I said in 2 Corinthians, for we can do nothing against the truth, but for the truth. So, it is what it is. Everything is working in the favor of the truth. So this reads, and because iniquity shall abound, the love of many shall wax cold. Right. So when these hard times come, man, and you put to the test, the love of many shall wax cold. The love of this truth. People gonna, fold under pressure, man. And that's why I say, man, pray that this move that is, being spoken of is that power move that we need to set things off to really get things rolling. Because a lot of things can take place without the supply of diesel fuel, man. Because you got trucks that run on diesel that got to bring the unleaded fuel to the gas stations to fuel up the pumps at the gas stations. Then you got diesel trucks that they use to bring, things to the grocery stores. And then you got diesel trucks that they use to bring like certain medicine to certain pharmacies. Like this could be a chain reaction, man. So we need this power move right now, man. And know that when this thing really pop off, it's gonna get real hectic out there, man. And just pray that you've been diligently seeking out the Lord while you had this time, man, before everything pops off. Like I said, things could get a lot more hotter after this election. Things are going to heat up after this election, man. And this midterm election is what I'm talking about, leading up into the 2024 election, man, for sure. So, we praying that things get moving and get on the road, man, and these prophecies to start coming in back to back to back, man. So I'm reading, and because iniquity shall abound, the love of many shall wax cold, man. So once this shortage take place and it hits and, you can't really get to what you need, and they come out with that solution, and we already know what that solution going to be. They going to have it all, man, because you're going to see a lot of sick people, man, who can't get their medicine and stuff like that because these trucks ain't coming in and delivering this medicine on time because this pretext, this war is taking up a lot of the diesel fuel, man. And even if you tried to convert diesel into natural gas or any type of other fuel, such as like fossil fuel and whatever, we know that's going to cost a lot of money, which is going to further lead to the dollar, reaching all-time, interest rates of inflation, like hyperinflation, man, which is going to further devalue the dollar because you ain't going to get as much buck for your bang as you is. You already right now having to, scrape together pennies, man, to make it. So imagine once this inflation reaches an all-time high, man, especially they trying to convert, other types of fuel to sustain, a level of convenience, like being able to take out your trash, having some type of fuel for emergency medicals services. I mean, if anything, this is it right here. This shortage of this diesel fuel. So we need that. You know, the only thing you got to be is prepared, and we're gonna see it. We're gonna see. It's gonna say that. So it says, and because iniquity shall abound, the love of many shall wax cold. Here it is, verse 13. But he that shall endure to the end, the same shall be saved, man. And that's gonna be the test right there. Your endurance. Are you going to be able to endure? And you got to pray that the Spirit be on you, and know that it's not you that's doing this, but it's the Spirit through the power of the Most High, through His only begotten Son Yahushua. You know, who we ignorantly call Jesus, a so-called black man. We got to have faith in Him and know that He's moving right now. He's setting these pieces up. So it says, and he that shall endure unto the end, the same shall be saved. And this gospel of the kingdom shall be preached in all the world for a witness unto all nations. And then shall the end come. And what end? The end of this man's world. This so-called white man's world. Who is biblically known as Edom. As it tells you, 2nd Ezra, the 6th chapter, the ninth verse, that Esau is the end of the world and Jacob is the beginning of the world that followeth. Esau is the end of this world and Jacob is the beginning of the world that followeth, man. So we know something got to drastically pop off. You know? And if this is it, this very much well could be that power move we need. You know? So let's just see how they gonna play this thing out. Because even if it don't happen this winter, it may take a little bit while for things to kick in. Like I said, they may have reserves, so you may not see the full depletion of our reserves until like the beginning of next year in the winter, 2023. So we pray that this is the power move we need for things to, you know, get the ball rolling. And toss up that alley hoop, man, slam dunk it, so that mark can get implemented, so they can use this chaos to bring in that mark to get everything back in order. That's how they work. It's called the Hegelian dialectic. Chaos from the top and the bottom, and they got the order in the middle. See, they already have the solution. They just need a cause. And this diesel shortage with these rumors of wars could be that cause that they need for everything to line up perfectly. The dollar crashing, getting devalued, no longer being the world currency. With these CBDCs, they trying to get us more, you know, familiar with. Saying that we're supposed to have something in the making next year around July. To these food shortages. I mean, to, you know, not having the access to good medicine, Medicare, and a lot of people getting sick. Okay, now we got everything that we need as far as the prelude to bringing in the mark. We got the whole world in chaos. And, you know, them not having complete understanding of what's going on in these biblical times, man. Once these wars pop off, especially over there in the Middle East, we already know who coming from the East. With garment dyed in, you know, dipped in blood, man, from Basra. And that glorious apparel, man. We already know what's gonna happen with that. So everything lining up, man. So just be patient, you know, and just know that he's working right now. He's using them to take them at their own craftiness. Like I said, you can do nothing against the truth but for the truth. So they all playing into, they playing their role, they playing their lot that was given to them. The border of wickedness. You see, that's who these people are, man. And you're gonna see a lot of people gonna fall for it. Cause what? They don't know what's going on. They believe everything that they see on, these news channels. So when they tell you that it's a diesel shortage and gas prices is going, off the out the roof, a lot of people are gonna go buy that gas because they're gonna think it ain't gonna never be coming back. Food shortages. Okay, the trucks ain't coming in to bring in food. People gonna go panic buy and buy everything off the shelves. Okay, your pharmacy telling you that you can only get a certain amount of medicine per person. People gonna go run and get all the medicine. Then when you really need it, you ain't gonna have it because you reacted out of fear. And that's gonna have a trickle down effect, man. And you're gonna believe through the media that that's the reason why a lot of people sick, not tying everything in, knowing that just a year or two ago, or maybe 3 years ago, majority of the people took that juice, and now it's actually kicking in. But they just needed something as a pretext to why people are getting sick now. And now what? The solution is already on deck, man. They could bring that mark out with a state of emergency. Then you're gonna have the troops come in like a flood. They're gonna bring in that martial law. Then they're gonna set up these FEMA camps, which is just a nicer version of Skid Row, and have you in these communities, these little tight-knit communities. Man, where they can re-educate you depending on how far they believe that you are going down a rabbit hole per se, like, whether or not they could get you to convince you that all this is just a conspiracy and none of this is actual, reality. And if you can't be convinced, they may have a guillotine right there waiting on you to really see just how much of this, to just see just how much this really of this Bible you believe. They may have that guillotine already waiting on you. So this is that power move that we've been praying for. Pray that this thing right here after this election, that things really get the ball rolling, man. So we're gonna close out and then we're gonna take it from there. This is 1 Peter chapter 5, verse 8. And it reads, "Be sober, be vigilant, because your adversary the devil, as a roaring lion, walketh about, seeking whom he may devour." And trust and believe, a lot of people gonna walk right up to him. He ain't even gonna have to walk about. He just gonna have to, bam, open up the camp, and people gonna come in for assistance. People gonna go down to Egypt for assistance because they on horses and chariots. But they look not to the Holy One of Israel, man. So he ain't really gonna have to do nothing but walk and open up the gate and have you take that mark for you to get some, assistance. Okay, you want assistance. Okay, you got to take that mark in your right hand and in your forehead, because the assistance he gonna give you is gonna be anything less than sustainable. You're gonna be in these little pods where you're gonna need that mark in your forehead to escape his reality. you know, because you ain't really gonna have no job, man. You're gonna be, depending on your status, you gonna be you basically gonna be a living vegetable, man, locked up in a box like a hamster is on a cage, and just having the energy drained out of you. So that mark in your forehead is gonna play a role in having you believe that you actually in a viable situation where you are out and about in the real world, but you ain't moving or nothing. You just sitting in a vegetated state, hooked up with a mark in your forehead in the metaverse. So real that you can even tap in to a celebrity who has the mark in their forehead and see life through their eyes. So this thing is real, man. So once again, just pray that the wheels start turning and this fuel, this diesel, start getting closer and closer to depletion, man. Whatever scare tactic they gonna use to justify using all this fuel. Because it did say in Matthew 24, the chapter that I was reading, that what? Verse 7, for nation shall rise against nation, and kingdom against kingdom, and there should be famines and pestilence and earthquakes in diverse places. You know, and we may need that winter storm to come through like we ain't never seen before. That could get us to A, use more diesel fuel, and B, have it to where the refineries can't keep up with the supply of diesel fuel and have to go tap into the reserve, man. Alongside these other conflicts between these other nations that need us to give them help in supplying them with diesel fuel. So this is that power move, man. So let's, keep our eyes glued to the prize, man, and make sure we endure to the end so we can get that kingdom to come, and righteousness, So with that being said, I'm going to say stay strong, stay in the faith. We almost home. Shalom.